Okay, so we're back, and now we're going to see how things are not working out for people who have voted for Trump. Let's get into it. Our Talk Radio Live in 4K. City of Dalton in Georgia is finding out.
There is pandemonium right now in the town of Dalton, Georgia. 72% of Dalton's residents voted for Donald Trump. 37.5% of its residents are Hispanic. That is the highest concentration of Hispanic voters in all of Georgia. Leader in the carpet industry, Dalton is known as the carpet capital of the world, and the town's economy relies on immigrants to run. But now, Dalton's residents are growing increasingly nervous about Trump's plans for mass deportations, worrying that they will crash their economy.
I mean, why would you? Didn't you think about this before? Didn't you think about this before that how um, getting all the a deportation of illegals, and you need illegals to work your businesses and to keep your economy above water? Do you think that was going to be a problem? I'm just saying. I mean, you guys thought about this, right? That's when people say, "Oh, it wasn't about race. It wasn't about race." It seems that way to me because you guys didn't really think this through. That's what I'm seeing. Because when it comes to minorities, like I said, it was all about being white first. Now here's another one.
This story is coming from the Leopard Ate My Face subreddit, and it's regarding the city of Dalton, Georgia. Let's read it, and then I have some thoughts. Trump voter delusions never cease to amaze me. So the town overwhelmingly backs Trump, whose central campaign promise repeated ad nauseum is to deport all immigrants who do not have legal status to be here, 11 million of them. And so now that the town is realizing that losing workers without legal status would devastate its economy, they're betting, praying that Trump won't deport their illegals because they don't cause any trouble. I'm sorry, did you listen to any of his million speeches about mass deportation? Did you hear any loopholes for those who don't cause any trouble? Because if that's the new standard, no deportation if you're not causing any trouble. Then 99% of people here without documentation can stay. Well, sorry to say, Dalton, but you voted for your own economic demise, and there are countless other Daltons around the country now realizing they're in the same boat. Good luck. I'm sure there will be plenty of homegrown real Americans lining up to take these jobs. Okay, so I grew up in the countryside of Idaho, surrounded by farmland, where we had a lot of people working the fields that were not Americans because, frankly, they did not pay enough people, even for the teenagers, to want to go work the fields. And this was something I was concerned about. What is going to happen when all these people that are working fields and construction and these jobs that American people don't want to be paid that little amount of is going to happen when they're gone?
That's what I'm saying. And the companies don't want to pay. They don't want to pay. This wouldn't be a problem if you are willing to pay these people, Americans, a decent wage. You pay a teenager, you know, pay him 17 an hour. Okay? Pay him 17 an hour to work the fields. Because if you're going to kick out these migrants, you got to pay them reasonable wages. The Americans, all right? But they don't want to do it. This is all about greed. And who knows? Maybe they won't get kicked out. Maybe this is all an evil scheme for something else that will be worse coming down the pipe during Trump's presidency. Let's see how many more people are experiencing the leopard eat my face phrase. Let's see how many more people. Hold on one second. 1 second. Sorry. All right, here we are. All right. Second. Okay. All right. Here we go.
And welcome to the Steelworkers for Trump rally. What a great day to be an American patriot in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. My name is Jason Zuga. I'm the former president, current vice president of Local 2227, work for United States Steel Urban Works. My roots run deep in the steel industry. I'm a third-generation steelworker and have over 27 years at U.S. Steel. Both my grandfathers and my father worked for U.S. Steel. As I look out into the audience, I see many of my brothers and sisters here with me tonight. We are a family, and we put our families first. We are extremely proud to be steelworkers and Americans. We need a president who's going to protect our jobs, protect our families, and put America first. We support President Trump and his commitment to prioritizing the long-term sustainable success of our industry, his commitment to making America great again. It is with great honor on behalf of the Steelworkers for Trump, I would like to officially endorse Donald J. Trump to be the next president of the United States of America. Thank you.
Woo! Donald Trump! Donald Trump.
The thing is like people are forgetting that this man, people haven't done any research on this man. He's lived a comfortable life. He does not know what it's like to be poor. He does not know what it's like to suffer. He has lived a life of being rich, and his business practices are horrible. He refuses to pay his workers, constantly in bankruptcy. People say, well, so what? People go into bankruptcy when they're going to start a business. Okay, but not paying your workers? Does that, and mob ties, that doesn't make you take a second take? Played around and found out. Let's keep going.
Look, this is the precarious situation we find ourselves in if we want to be good and decent people. I take no shame in finding joy that this guy is bummed out, that he's now ushered us in. He's one of millions of votes to usher fascism in to the country because of his personal whatever, his politics, whether he has ideas about immigrants or if it's just the economy, whatever. He made a mistake. He blew it. He fucked up. He's at a Trump rally with his "Don't Tread on Me" hat. Nobody's treading on you, dipshit. And now, it's a gut punch. It's a gut punch, he says. And now what is he doing? He's reaching out to the Democrats. Oh, please, save me. Don't tread on me. Save me, Josh Shapiro. Save me, Democrat governor of Pennsylvania. This is from this article, Gut Punch, Trump upsets local union leaders by opposing U.S. Steel Nippon deal. In the meantime, Zuga said, local supporters like himself have been trying to persuade politicians to back the deal. He said he spoke with Governor Josh Shapiro's office and came away feeling that the governor is trying to help push the deal through. Josh Shapiro, at a stop in Pittsburgh on Tuesday, confirmed that Zuga had met with members of his team. The Democratic governor didn't express outright support for the U.S. Steel Nippon proposal, but said he is trying to ensure a deal that keeps steel jobs in the Mon Valley. It's a gut punch. What'd you think? What did you think, Jason? You thought Trump was going to be here for you? You think he's going to look out for the working man? You think he's an ally of the working class?
This is what I've been trying to tell people. And people were looking at me, you're a Democrat. Hey, I vote Republican. But I couldn't. Not with Trump. Not with Trump. If I don't like the Democrats and I know the things that they're about, this damn sure I'm not going to vote for Trump. Okay? And the thing is like the key thing about Trump, he does not pay his workers. He's had a history of that. And you as a laborer, that should have sent alarm bells through your skull, to your spine, to your hands, to your feet, because those are the things that you use to work through the day. 7 days a week, 365 days a year, you're busting your body to do grueling work, and you expect to be paid. And you hear a businessman say, I don't like to pay my workers. You hear that? That should be like, oh, no, I'm not voting for Trump. No. Instant red flag. Instant. I'll keep saying it. I don't care if people get offended. It was because he's white. Make America white again. It's not make America great again. Make it white again. That's what it was all about. Okay. Hold on 1 minute. I don't know what's going on right here. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to be talking about Brian Thompson, CEO of United Healthcare. Let's get into it.
Also assumed that the suspect list would be long, especially because I figured it's probably somebody that had United Healthcare and was affected by that insurance company. But more photos of the shooter have been released by NYPD, and I just have a feeling that this guy is definitely going to get caught pretty soon. Now, you may or may not have already heard this, but yesterday when police found the shell casings at the scene, there were words written on each one saying deny, defend, depose, which could be in relation to this book called Delay, Deny, Defend, Why Insurance Companies Don't Pay Claims and What You Can Do About It. There's also this that I saw on Twitter of a chart showing how many claims get denied by insurance companies, and as you can see, United Healthcare has the most. Now, Brian was married, but he and his wife had been separated, and she did an interview with NBC saying this. There had been some threats. Basically, I don't know, a lack of coverage. I don't know details. I just know that he said there were some people that had been threatening him. It's very clear that the insurance company is not taking any chances, because if you were to search up United Healthcare board members and you click on any of these 3 links, you either get taken to this page or to page not found, so you can't see any of their names.
People are tired of being screwed over by the healthcare system just to line their pockets. Okay. I don't take pleasure in what happened to this guy. I don't. I don't take pleasure in anything that happened to him. But the reality is, these CEOs, let's read this. Thompson United Health kept probe secret, misled investors, lawsuit claims. As one of the largest healthcare insurers in the United States, healthcare and late CEO Brian Thompson are defendants in numerous lawsuits. One in particular, filed in the U.S. District Court for Minnesota, is notable in light of the brazen Wednesday morning shooting death of Thompson in downtown Manhattan. Thompson was on his way to an investor conference at the New York Hilton Hotel when a gunman ambushed and shot him in the chest. NY New York police say. Thompson joined United Health Group in 2004 and was named CEO for United Healthcare in April of 2021. A few months prior to that, on January 6, 2021, United Healthcare announced its largest acquisition ever, Change Healthcare, a health technology company, for $13 billion. Change operated a clearinghouse processing health insurance claims and moving data from entity to entity. According to a United Health estimate, more than half of American medical insurance claims pass through or touch Change's system. Department of Justice on alert. On February 24th, 2022, the Department of Justice sued to block the Change acquisition and on antitrust grounds, arguing United Health would gain access to sensitive data that would wield against its competitors. United Health prevailed and the Change acquisition was finalized. Throughout the dispute, United Health executives insisted that the company had internal firewalls that prevent the sharing of competitively sensitive information across business units, plaintiffs say. Shares soared from about $350 per share when Change acquisition was announced to more than $500 per share in February 2024, when Change Networks fell victim to system-wide cyber attack. By that point, United Health executives were already keeping secrets from investors. Plaintiffs alleged in the Minnesota class action suit, October 10th, 2023. United Health received the notice that the Department of Justice had launched a non-public antitrust investigation into the company. The lawsuit states, concealing this material information from investors and the public, United Health Chairman Stephen J. Hemsley and several other senior executives immediately took action, selling more than $100 million of their own United Health stock at artificial inflated prices, as the market and other investors remained unaware of the new federal antitrust investigation the lawsuit claims. When the Wall Street Journal exposed the investigation in a February 27, 2024 article, the price of United Health stock declined over $27 per share, falling from $525.32 per share on February 26, 2024 to $498.28 on February 28, 2024, the lawsuit notes. In response, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Democrat of Massachusetts, was among the lawmakers from both sides to call for investigation of United Health. Because United Health has brought up every link in the healthcare chain, it's in a position to jack up prices, squeeze competitors, hide revenues, pressure doctors to put profits ahead of patients. United Health is a monopoly on steroids, Warner said in a statement. Yeah, this is probably why people are not into showing empathy to this guy getting deleted. New reports allege improper payments. The class actions lawsuit was initially filed on May 14th with the City of Hollywood Firefighters Pensions Fund as the lead plaintiff. It has since been amended twice, most recently last week. On October 24th, 2024, the Office of Inspector General released a new report titled Medicare Advantage, Questionable Use of Health Risk Assessments Continues to Drive Up Payments to plans by billions. The government watchdog found that United Health reaped $3.2 billion in extra federal payments in 2023 for diagnoses from in-home health risk assessments, HRAs, and HRA-linked chart reviews. According to the report, United Health accepted these payments even though the patients did not receive any additional treatment or medical services, allowing the new diagnoses, the lawsuit noted. The lawsuit class includes any owners of United Health Group shares between September 22, 2021 and February 27th, 2024. During this time, Thompson sold over 31% of his United Health shares for proceeds of over $15 million, the lawsuit says. Throughout the class period, United Health leveraged its monopolistic power to crush competition, manipulate government officials, and force others in the healthcare industry to cede to its demands. In the process, United Health unlawfully obtained billions of dollars of revenue from the federal government, the healthcare providers, and its own members, the lawsuit states. On Wednesday, Magistrate Judge David T. Schultz signed an order giving United Health and Helmsley and Thompson until March 1st, 2025, to respond to the amended complaint. Wow. You could say that, hey, people are more into that eat the rich vibe right now. They are more into that eat the rich vibe. It's really showing. Eat the rich. People aren't playing anymore. They're not. They don't care. All right. People are suffering out here. And this incident has exposed people to what's really going on in the healthcare field. And it doesn't help that Donald Trump is in office now, soon will be office. And we already knew, okay, that he's going to be for the rich. And Republicans are finding out. They are finding out. That's all that could be said. They're finding out. And here's what the ridiculous claim of the FBI is doing right now. Here's what they're doing. Can't make this up.
Breaking news, the FBI is now offering their own reward of $50,000 on top of the $10,000 New York City Crime Stoppers reward. So essentially, they upped the reward from $10K to $60K for information leading to the arrest of the assassin in the case against Brian Thompson this week. I think this proves exactly how much the government lies to us and about how untrustworthy the media is.
Let's play this again. I'm going to play this again.
Breaking news, the FBI is now offering their own reward of $50,000 on top of the $10,000 New York City Crime Stoppers reward. So essentially, they upped the reward from $10K to $60K for information leading to the arrest of the assassin in the case against Brian Thompson this week. I think this proves exactly how much the government lies to us and about how untrustworthy the media is.
Thing is though, you said you had the person's name, right? The mainstream media said they had the person's name. So why are you offering 50 to 60K? You're offering 50K, the article says. Why are you offering that? That's how much respect that they have for the American people. $50,000. Now they're peasants. They'll eat, they'll come for $50,000. No, we won't. Not after what we saw, how that man professionally took out Brian Thompson. The gun jammed, he fixed it and kept going. No one's willing to risk their life for $50,000. In a recession, you're going to have to put that to be like 100 million. That's what it's going to have to be. Okay? And there's a lot of people who are just grinning. It's literally just ear to ear. People are saying, did you hear the people sing? Did you hear the people sing?
I'd get to see a French Revolution speed run live on TikTok, but hey, I'll take it, man. Apparently, moderators across social media are struggling to contain people's absolute elation about what happened in New York. And it's really kind of funny to me that we have these no violence policies all over the internet, yet somehow denying coverage to a single mother who has 2 children that depend on her, which directly leads to her death, and then those children being thrown into foster care, where they are abused and then end up on the street and become homeless people because they don't have anywhere else to go. Somehow, that isn't considered violence. Somehow that is considered just the normal status quo. And I, for one, am really elated to see people having these types of conversations online because the veil is finally falling. We're finally going, this is fucking bullshit, man, and I'm not doing it anymore. We got AI, we got robots, we got all this fucking stuff, and I'm...
That's right, because we have AI now. We have no excuse for people to be suffering like this. But the people who are in power are not for the common folk. They're not. This is what we're going through right now. This. And people are revolting. I hope this is going to be just a single occurrence. Because there's one guy online. Well, maybe I hope it's a joke. I hope it's a sick joke, but I hope it is. It's nothing more than a joke. That they're saying that the guy works in there's more than one, like it's an organization. Hopefully it's a joke. Hopefully. I really hope it is. Because I don't want this to keep happening. I don't. Hopefully people will find a suitable healthcare that they could go, healthcare provider they could go to.
I'm supposed to go to work for $16 or less an hour? Are you crazy? This is not going to happen. People are waking up. They're really calling for it. And this big catalyst of someone who is awful being the victim of their awful consequences.
That's all you can say. The man was crooked, pocketing money, denying people health claims. Okay, I just I feel bad for the kids. He had kids. But at the same time, you know, it's coming to that, you know, people are tired. They're sick of being working, you know, ungodly hours and working in the health field, and you can't get health insurance. You're being denied. United Health has a notorious, I just showed you a video, they have a notorious reputation of denying healthcare claims. Let's get into this one right here.
Money. That's what's got me. Not the silencer, not the casings, not even the fact that the dude used a vet gun. Monopoly money in the backpack, like a big middle finger to the whole system. That's not just an assassin, that's someone making a statement. Now look, I'm not condoning murder, but let's not pretend that the CEO of United Healthcare was some saint. That man, let's call it like it is, profited off of death. Millions of Americans sick, broke, desperate, while he sat in his mansion counting his bonuses. Bonuses for what? For squeezing every last penny out of people trying to stay alive? You ever been on hold with an insurance company while someone you love is dying? You ever had to choose between rent and a copay? That and more is the kind of evil that this system churns out every single day, and they call it just business. And then someone flips the script. Casings with deny, defend, depose etched in them. That's not just a hit, that's a message. Those 3 words, that's their playbook. Deny the claim, defend the denial in court, and depose anyone who tries to fight back. Meanwhile, people are burying their kids because they couldn't afford chemo. That's the reality. Now the FBI's bumping the reward to $50K means they got nothing. Not a clue. Whoever this is, they're playing chess while the feds are still setting up the board. And the monopoly money, it's perfect. It tells you everything. Because that's what this whole industry runs on. Fake money, fake care, fake morality. Monopoly rules. Play until someone owns everything and then everyone else loses. Here's the thing though. If the system worked, if people could get the care that they needed without going bankrupt, this sort of thing wouldn't happen. Nobody wakes up thinking that they're going to assassinate a CEO unless they've been pushed past their breaking point.
Did he tell no lies? I think he told no lies. That's what I think. I think he told no lies. Here's another one.
CEO getting pew-pewed is literally making conservatives gain class consciousness in real time. Ben Shapiro uploaded a video about it saying the evil revolutionary left cheers murder and his supporters are eating him alive in the comments. I don't know why you're trying to keep pushing this as a left issue. It's clearly across the board. As a longtime Ben Shapiro fan, buddy, your wealth is showing. It's not a left or right thing. Sorry, Ben, lifelong conservative and don't have an ounce of sympathy for this CEO. How many Americans have died because of his company's greed? Healthcare shouldn't be a choice between living and permanently being in crippling debt. I just realized your entire business model requires that us normal folk hate each other.
But I just realized your entire business model requires that us normal folk hate each. That's the whole playbook for the Republican and the Democrats. That this divide and conquer. When people are at each other's throats, then they could come in with martial law and control everyone. Divide and conquer. Order out of chaos. Glad people are waking up. I'm glad people are waking up.
It's the same thing on r/conservative too. People are naturally going to celebrate. This man's death is an allegory for the failure of privatized healthcare as a whole. We can all relate. Prescriptions we can't afford, people we know who have been turned down healthcare or treatment due to insurance reasons. I'm a Republican and I'm not going to defend the failure of privatized healthcare. It is an absolute tragedy, the people who don't have access to healthcare. Complicit for over 7 million deaths, 1/3 claim denial rate, UHC being investigated for using algorithms that automatically denied claims. UHC also has some of the highest healthcare premiums and costs, all while he was the CEO and making over $10 million a year. Also, he's being investigated for fraud, money laundering, and insider trading. You guys, they are literally getting it. Sure, a few politicians will make some lukewarm comments to keep their bases energized, but when those same companies sprint to donate for politicians, it becomes pretty clear that they're all in it together. Literally so close. The US healthcare system is a mess for sure. I think the overall reaction of the masses is probably scaring the hell out of the elites. The only reason they exist making 350 times.
I don't think that they will scare the elites. They've gotten so much power over the decades, that they will, if need be. I mean, they have control of the food. They got control of the farmland. See, that's the thing. I look into alternative media sources, and it's really not looking good for us. I mean, people could band together, but they better have some resources like food. Where are you getting your food? Where are you going to be getting clean water? Where are you going to be able to have food that isn't poisoned by the companies, by big pharma? That's the thing. How are you going to survive the winters, the heat? Where are you going to get gas to put in your car? Okay, because looking into alternative media sources, it's really not looking good for the American people in this country. All right. So let's go over to finding out about what the Prime Minister of the Bahamas had to say about Trump when Trump had an illegal migration proposal. Let's look into that right now. Fair use.
Bahamas has rejected a proposal from Donald Trump's upcoming administration to take in deported migrants. Well, as the next president of the United States of America remains adamant on his stance to slash immigration in the U.S. Notably, Trump's team has carved out a list of countries to which it wants to deport migrants. That's when their home countries refuse to accept them. NBC News reported, but the Bahamas, an island nation set in the Atlantic Ocean, said it had reviewed and firmly rejected the plan.
Bahamas is so small compared to other countries. No, they had every right. Every right. Trump didn't really have a plan for this problem. He didn't. If he did, he would never have picked Bahamas. Not in a million years.
Prime Minister Philip Davis' office said that his government had received a proposal from the Trump transition team to accept deportation flights of migrants from other countries. Trump has always linked the rise in crime, security issues, and law and order concerns to the influx of immigrants in the U.S. Now, during his election rally, Trump laid out a stark vision for his first days in office. If re-elected, that is.
Problem is, he had a vision. He didn't have a plan. He had a concept of a plan when he was debating Kamala Harris. Concept and an actual plan is two different things. Okay. Some people are mad, about when you say about getting rid of illegal migrants, but you have to look at, what's going on. What are people face? See, I live in New York, and there's been a lot of crime due to these illegal migrants. Remember one of a woman, she was just walking down the street at night, and illegal put a noose around her neck, dragged her behind a car. You know what he did to her. They caught him, though, and they beat the crap out of him, but the damage was already done. This is why I'm like hey, if you're going to be here, you have to be here legally, and you have to have a background check. We got to know if you have any diseases, and we got to know if you have a criminal record. But let's get into why I'm for balance when it comes to this issue. Let's hear this. What Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has to say about illegal migration and what's going on.
Tonight, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is issuing an urgent warning. Venezuelan gangs are operating in major cities across the state.
They are known for crimes ranging from sex trafficking to committing murder in broad daylight. This is My Owen shares new information from the TBI tonight.
Tonight, Tennessee Representative Mark Green sharing his outrage after learning a violent Venezuelan gang is openly operating in the state. In a statement, Green, chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee, commending the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation for sounding the alarm and supporting the incoming Trump administration's agenda to restore the border.
I think the key piece is that we are concerned. The alarm has been sounded only to raise awareness and understanding that they are here.
Questions surrounding the gang have now been raised across the state after the TBI warned the gang Tren de Agua has resurfaced. The group involved in crimes ranging from trafficking women to committing murder in broad daylight.
They are in Tennessee. Primarily right now, we see them engaged in human trafficking. And those operations are happening in each of our large cities in Tennessee.
The department explaining these gangs start by forcing people into human trafficking, then often move into organized retail crime, and from there, drugs.
We know that they are taking on the cartels. They haven't held back in letting cartels know that they will take them on, and they will battle for the drug trafficking in communities.
A recent bulletin reported by News Nation warning officers of more than 1,000 members of the gang infiltrating into the U.S. and its leaders giving the green light to target members of law enforcement.
They are very violent toward policing. They're violent toward law enforcement, and so they will fight and they will attack police. They have no respect for law enforcement.
You can see why, people are concerned with the illegal immigration problem. This is why I can't get behind people on social media talking about, we're all illegal immigrants. I'm like, what is, you'll say this now until one of these illegals harm your family. Then you're gonna sing a different tune. Okay? This is why I'm also, I gotta be for this. I have to be for this right now. Okay, what this Missouri lawmaker has proposed. Don't like him? Sorry. I can't empathize with you, because the one thing I can't stand is like these two extremist parts of the left and the right. No type of talking to them, no type of reasoning with them. And they feed on the extremist parts of the Democrat and the left, and Democrat and Republican, who just want their way. They don't care about the common folk. They just want their way. But let's see what this guy has to say.
Hey, Missouri, are you ready? We're about to be a national leader in combating illegal immigration. Talk about making national headlines. Senate Bill 72 will finally empower our police and our communities to protect themselves. This bill will make it a felony to be here in this state illegally. This bill will finally allow our police officers to arrest illegal immigrants. And it'll allow our Department of Public Safety to investigate, to determine if someone's illegal, and dispatch licensed bounty hunters to effect those arrests. Once convicted, illegal immigrants will no longer have access to public benefits paid for by our tax dollars. And much like Crime Stoppers and other federal hotlines, if you submit an anonymous tip that leads to the arrest of an illegal immigrant, you'll be rewarded $1,000. The voters have spoken. It's time to get serious about illegal immigration. President Trump, Missouri will have dangerous illegal immigrants gift wrapped and ready for deportation. Many more updates come.
What irks me is this allegiance to Trump, though. The allegiance is disgusting. The constant meat writing for Trump is not, which is a big turnoff. Just going to say it. The worshiping of presidents, So, speaking of presidents, we're going to be talking about Biden and what he's going to be doing when it comes to pardoning, especially when he pardoned this individual right here. No, it's not Hunter Biden. Oh, no. Someone that is, I would say, far worse. Far worse than pardoning his own son, who is basically the white equivalent of P. Diddy. But let's hear. Biden White House is considering pardoning Dr. Anthony Fauci.
1001 of the U.S. Criminal Code creates a felony and a 5-year penalty for lying to Congress. On your last trip to our committee on May 11th, you stated that the NIH has not ever and does not now fund gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And yet, gain-of-function research was done entirely in the Wuhan Institute by Dr. Shi and was funded by the NIH. I'd like to ask unanimous consent to insert into the record the Wuhan virology paper entitled Discovery of a Rich Gene Pool of Bat SARS-Related Coronaviruses. Please deliver a copy of the journal article to Dr. Fauci. In this paper, Dr. Shi credits the NIH and lists the actual number of the grant that she was given by the NIH. In this paper, she took 2 bat coronavirus genes, spike genes, and combined them with a SARS-related backbone to create new viruses that are not found in nature. These lab-created viruses were then shown to replicate in humans. These experiments combine genetic information from different coronaviruses that infect animals but not humans to create novel artificial viruses able to infect human cells. Viruses that in nature only infect animals were manipulated in the Wuhan lab to gain the function of infecting humans. This research fits the definition of the research that the NIH said was subject to the pause in 2014 to 2017, a pause in funding on gain of function. But the NIH failed to recognize this, defines it away, and it never came under any scrutiny. Dr. Richard E. Bright, a molecular biologist from Rutgers, described this research in Wuhan as the Wuhan lab used NIH funding to construct novel chimeric SARS-related coronaviruses able to infect human cells and laboratory animals. This is high-risk research that creates new potential pandemic pathogens that exist only in the lab, not in nature. This research matches, these are Dr. E. Bright's words, this research matches, indeed epitomizes, the definition of gain-of-function research done entirely in Wuhan, for which there was supposed to be a federal pause. Dr. Fauci, knowing that it is a crime to lie to Congress, do you wish to retract your statement of May 11th where you claimed that the NIH never funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan?
Your microphone.
Senator Paul, I have never lied before the Congress, and I do not retract that statement. This paper that you are referring to was judged by qualified staff up and down the chain as not being gain of function. Let me finish.
You take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans,
right.
You're saying that's not gain of function?
Yeah, that is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly. And I want to say that officially. You do not know what you are talking about. Okay, you get one person.
Let's read from the NIH definition of gain of function. This is your definition that you guys wrote. It says that scientific research that increases the transmissibility among animals is gain of function. They took animal viruses that only occur in animals and they increased their transmissibility to humans. How you can say that is not gain of function?
It is not.
It's a dance, and you're dancing around this because you're.
Okay. Okay, hold on 1 minute. Here we are. All right. Biden discussed a sweeping pardon covering Fauci's whole career due to crazy conspiracy theories. President Biden's White House is reportedly considering sweeping preemptive pardon for Dr. Anthony Fauci to protect him from prosecution during the incoming Trump presidency. Key Trump advisors, including Elon Musk, have repeatedly stated that they are in favor of investigating and prosecuting the former NIAID head for crimes against American people. White House counsel Ed Siskel is arranging discussions about a draft of potential pardons. A raft, spell check, please. Draft of potential pardons with several other senior Biden aides, including Chief of Staff Jeff Zients, Politico reported, citing senior Democrats familiar with the plans The president, who granted sweeping pardon to his son, Hunter, for the past 11 years of crimes or potential crimes earlier this week, reportedly has not been roped into the deliberations, according to Politico. Dr. Anthony Fauci's career has come under intense scrutiny, with critics labeling his actions during the pandemic as nothing note of catastrophic allegations of criminal negligence and profiting have fueled public outrage, with some calling his decisions crimes against humanity. My thing is this, right? Everybody wants to say this now, but what about Trump? Trump was the one who had to deal with Fauci. Trump obviously was briefed about who Fauci was. Okay. Fauci has a track record of doing this since the 80s. Since the 80s. And look up what he was involved with. Okay. Especially with torturing children that were in the foster care system with drugs, with experimental drugs. Evidence suggested Fauci played a pivotal role in promoting treatments and policies that critics argue cost countless lives. Millions of dollars flowed into initiatives under his watch, while treatments deemed effective by some independent studies were sidelined or vilified. These decisions were reportedly amplified by a media landscape heavily influenced by pharmaceutical advertising dollars, ensuring alternative voices were drowned out. Fauci's advocacy for the, as far as I will go. We know what happened. Okay. We know what he's connected to. All right. But that is basically what he is about. Okay. And both sides knew about this. Both sides knew about Fauci. Okay. They knew what type of person he is. And here's something else. Here's something else about Biden. Let's get into that right now. And Kamala Harris. Let's get into that. And what they were doing with the hurricane relief money for Hurricane Elaine and Hurricane Milton. Let's get into that right now.
That the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris White House attempted to rob hundreds of millions of dollars from its Small Business Administration's disaster loan program, and they tried to transfer the money to accounts intended to pay the salaries of their own Biden-Harris administration officials. This is according to White House documents. After Hurricanes Helene and loan tried to redirect the funds. Now, Joe Biden says the disaster loan program has run out of money, leaving suffering Americans in a crisis.
1 second. Let me just show you where it is. Right here. See? You can see right here. Pause to read. The budget requests the ability to transfer up to $227 million from the disaster loans program. Balances for the FY 2024, program administrative needs. Of this amount of $213 million will be transferred to the salaries and expenses account for necessary expenses administering the SBA's COVID-19 loan and grant programs, and up to $14 million will be transferred to the Office of the Inspector General for conducting audits, investigations, and other oversight on the SBA's COVID loan and grant programs.
Redirect the funds. Now, Joe Biden says the disaster loan program has run out of money, leaving suffering Americans in a crisis after Hurricanes Helene and Milton devastated the lives of countless American families. The Biden-Harris White House tried to rob $227 million from disaster loans program balances to spend it on supposed COVID-19 program administrative needs. And guess what? The Biden-Harris White House tried to spend up to $213 million of that disaster loan money for salaries and expenses for their own people. Meanwhile, the Biden-Harris administration's Federal Emergency Management Agency, aka FEMA, spent hundreds of millions of dollars feeding and sheltering and serving illegal immigrants before Hurricane Helene, while they ignored an Inspector General report warning them that their disaster relief fund had a multi-billion-dollar deficit due to misplaced funds.
All right, the memorandum right here. Okay, you can read it for yourself. All right. Attached to your action is our final report. FEMA's inadequate oversight led to delays in closing out declared disasters. We incorporate the formal comments provided by your office.
Various cities and counties and numerous Catholic Charities chapters received funding for migrant shelter and services during fiscal year 2024, which ended on September 30th. Catholic Charities Archdiocese of San Antonio, Inc., I love that Inc. in there, got an allocation from FEMA for more than $10.8 million, while Catholic Charities Diocese of San Diego got a more than $19.5 million handout. Other recipients include the Salvation Army and chapters of the United Way. The program is run by a national board that includes representatives from American Red Cross, Catholic Charities USA, the Jewish Federations of North America, National Council of Churches of Christ in the USA, the Salvation Army, and United Way worldwide. A local news station in Wisconsin profiled FEMA and Catholic Charities' collaboration on housing illegal migrant children all the way back in 2014, a decade ago.
FEMA and Catholic Charities often work together. Now, the Milwaukee Office of Catholic Charities has been called on to look for temporary housing for the immigrant children while they wait for legal action. Catholic Charities USA asked directors in cities close to immigration courtrooms to find temporary homes. Father Bergner found 3. 2 former schools, one in the city of Milwaukee and one in Milwaukee County, and one underutilized office building elsewhere in the state.
FEMA would provide some of the basics needed to, I think, house people with dignity. That means a little more than a sleeping bag.
FEMA found the time to produce this very cringeworthy video on inclusivity, diversity, equity, and accessibility in exercises. What a Kafkaesque word salad that is. Their words, obviously. It sounds like Kamala wrote that. So they found the time to produce this video back in 2023, demonstrating the incompetent agency's fatuous progressive priorities.
To encourage whole community prepare.
Okay, I have to skip that.
The relief fund, and therefore we should not compare the spending behavior of the two different programs. But that's nonsense. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season, said Alejandro Mayorkas, the head of Joe Biden's DHS, which oversees FEMA. But an Inspector General report from August 14th, 2024, entitled "FEMA's Inadequate Oversight Led to Delays in Closing Out Declared Disasters."
There you go. See it right there.
General report was addressed to Biden-Harris FEMA head Deanne Criswell, and it said that billions of dollars in missing money was still available to be used by FEMA for disaster relief. Quote, as of July 2023, the DRF was projected to have a $4.3 billion deficit by the end of fiscal year 2023. Continued delays in FEMA closing older disasters put an added strain on the primary source of funding for the federal government's disaster relief program by withholding the return of $7.1 billion in potential monetary benefits, as detailed in Appendix D. Without stronger policies and improved oversight, FEMA risks continuing to close disaster programs in an untimely manner.
And that's all I could go through now. This is what we're dealing with, people. Scumbags on both sides of the aisle. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Later.